Okay, students, it's time for another podcast. I'm going to see if I can scrounge up the boggles. See if we can find the boggly boggles. We're ringing the boggles now. We're ringing the boggles now.
Hey, Pop.
And there he is, the boggles.
Actually, hold on. I'm changing my pajamas so I'm away from the camera.
Okay.
All
You
right.
get those pajamas on.
All right.
Get ready.
Ready.
Boggles finally has
I have my clothes on.
his clothes on. He's ready to podcast with his clothes on. You sure you don't want to do it with your clothes off?
Nah, that's only with the chicks, man.
Okay. If you're sure.
With the dudes that keep it on.
Okay, open up your Google Docs.
All right. Usual routine. Let's get the routine going.
Open up your Google Docs. I just pasted in some new podcast notes.
Man, okay, podcast notes. Wow, it's already here. This is amazing.
500 podcast notes in there.
Yeah, we should have done it yesterday. I was all emo yesterday.
Well, now you're not emo. Now you get
I'm less emo today. Yes, definitely less.
Now we get to cover all your favorite topics.
Oh, amazing.
Did I even put in here Bogglers hike?
Bogglers, repellent.
Yeah, let's cover that first. I'm going to put that Bogglers repellent hiking fail.
We'll be selling repellent brand.
Okay, so we went on a hike recently with the Boggler and with Dr. Ladice. And of course, the Boggles is trying to get uninvited from all future hikes by causing problems on this hike. And we've actually talked to Boggles before, I think, about, well, not so recently, but I think one of our first hikes when we had a franchise around, Handmade the Franchise, aka French Fries.
Yeah.
He was on a hike with the Boggles, and of course they almost went to war. So we had to basically settle them down and get them to realize that part of social interaction, actually a large part of social interaction, is giving another person an incentive to want to hang out with you in the future, to want to continue talking to you.
Yes.
Boggler likes to disincentivize people. He likes to give them incentives for not talking to him in the future.
Yes.
So let's say you're invited to a hike. You would think common sense would dictate that you would try to be on, at least on, if not on your best behavior, at least not cause problems with a host, the person inviting you. Because obviously if you're causing problems with the host, they're most likely not going to want to re-invite you to a future hike or to a future event for that matter. So this is difficult for Boggles to understand because on one hand, Dr. Ladice is a teacher at Manhood Academy. He's an instructor in a sense, but he's also a student in that he was like, and is to some extent like most emasculated guys growing up, didn't have strong father figure, didn't know how to get his expectations met. But Dr. Ladice has been a huge and valuable contribution to the ebook. You wouldn't have the ebook in its present form today without Dr. Ladice's help. So kudos to Dr. Ladice. That being said, Dr. Ladice doesn't always enforce his expectations with students that he doesn't necessarily see a need to enforce with. For instance, Boggles is an infamous troublemaker who needs to be confronted. His dysfunctional behavior needs to be confronted immediately. You can't let it slide. He's a prime example of a guy who you can't let slide. If you let him slide, here's what's going to happen. Boggles will no longer fear your authority. And if Boggles doesn't fear your authority, he's going to be very apt to try and undermine your authority. Now, Boggles has known the instructors for, I would say, a couple of years now. Boggles, would you say?
Yep.
Yeah, so you don't have the same problems with Dr. Ladice that you have with me, even though you are the same you're the same troublemaker. You don't switch. You don't switch bodies when you're talking to Ladice. You're still the troublemaker Boggles. Yeah. But you seem to have problems with Dr. Ladice, and you have problems with me, but I don't let them become problems. So what is the difference, would you say, from a student's perspective?
Well, from on one side, you definitely don't show a lot of qualities that I dislike. You definitely don't act like the mangina. I never seen you act like that.
Yeah, but still, I still cause problems with you. Like if a guy is functional, or let's say, even if we're both dysfunctional, let's say we're both dysfunctional, and we both have different expectations. I'm going to get my expectations met over yours, so that's going to cause friction at some point. So why isn't there the same result between you and me and you and Dr. Ladice? Why are there different results?
There's multiple reasons. One is, like I said, I look up to you because you. Even if you cause friction, you get your expectation. Right,
but there's a reason why you look up to me versus you don't.
Hold on.
Okay.
that was the first part because
Right.
the second part is when there was problems in the past, you confronted me right away and on multiple occasions and made it clear that it's going to be your way.
Yes.
And you also, like I said, multiple times confronted and made sure there's no ambiguity that,
No ambiguous things left behind. No, I don't go to bed mad. I solve the problem right then.
Right there. And also sometimes even if you didn't stay right away, you let me know very quickly, so I didn't violate any unstated expectations too.
Okay, and how's it different with Dr. Dice? How's your relationship different?
Well, one thing is I definitely don't see something that I respect him because he's bright and because he's one of the instructors here. But then another reason why it's different is Dr. Ladice would not confront me. He's tried once or twice.
I would say that's the key right there. I would say that's the key right there. He doesn't confront you. He doesn't enforce his expectations on you, basically.
Yes, no. He's tried, but no, he doesn't.
Right. It's still passive in a sense. In that it's not in a sense. It is passive.
I would have to be there, and then maybe it'll be enforced.
I would say, Dr. Dice is at a point where he is more or less weeding out people versus shaping people.
Yeah, he's weeding out. Yeah.
You, as a student, or basically anybody who's managing their expectations, eventually wants to get to the point where they're shaping people, not weeding people out. Because there's really no such thing as weeding people out. The only way to weed people out is to kill them. The only way to weed people out is for you to die or for them to die. The only way to weed people out is for them to not exist or you to not exist. Everybody in your world, which means everybody on planet Earth, is going to affect your social interactions. There's no such thing as weeding people out of your social interactions. When you're not as experienced or you don't have this view, you will think that there are people that are going to cause you too many problems. You're just going to ignore them. And that's a lot of people's tact. They don't want to, it takes some experience and it takes practice to confront somebody and get your expectations met.
Okay. I can totally identify with what you just said because I think I've started doing that too. I was hanging out with this one Indian guy and it started being a pain to hang out with him and I told him, hey, you better fix it, and then I just stopped hanging out with him.
Right. So a lot of people take the lazy way, which is also what Dr. Ladice does at times, is to just ignore people that he doesn't want to deal with because you're raising people. When you're interacting with people, especially when you have a conflict with somebody and you have to enforce your expectations, that means you need to take the time to address their dysfunctional behavior. That means you need to punish them. That's a difficult thing for a lot of people, even Dr. Ladice, who has more experience than most students here. And also, you have to tell them what they should be doing. You have to give them the functional direction. You have to say, you should be doing this. You shouldn't be doing this, and you should be doing this.
That reminds me, I actually have a very good relationship with Paperclip because he has been very upfront with the things that bother him.
Well, right. Paperclip is another example of a guy who is not going to let a problem get swept under the rug. If he has a problem, a lot of times he doesn't know what to do in the situation because it's new to him. So he'll confront a problem and he'll be like, I don't know what to do, so he won't act. But it's not because he doesn't want to act. He just doesn't have experience with it and he doesn't know what to do in the situation. So he might call me sometimes or he might write about it and think about it. And then when he knows what he wants, his expectation is clear. Next time that situation comes around, bam, he's ready to enforce.
Yeah.
So that's a distinct difference between guys who get their expectations met and guys who don't get their expectations met.
Yes.
I think Dr. Ladice is a perfect example of someone who knows a lot in theory, but doesn't have the experience, doesn't have enough experience to apply that. So a lot of you guys have read the ebook and you understand the concepts. Some of you quite well, most of you not at all. But those that do will find that it doesn't make any difference if they know what to do in the situation unless they practice enforcing their expectations. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's where you really see people's behavior start to change, where you start seeing your influence on other people that you're interacting with. If you are like most people and a situation comes up where, oh, you got to tell this person they're bothering you, or something is not right about their behavior, or something you're doing, even if you guys are both doing the wrong thing, regardless, if there's something where they're causing you problems in your social interactions, eventually you're like, I have to do something about this. And most people are just going to go, I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to stop talking to this person. I'm going to stop hanging out with them. Yeah. That's the easy way out. But that doesn't solve the problem. That just sweeps it under the rug. It's still there, and it will come back later. It might not come back in that person, but it will definitely come back in different types of relationships or the way you handle people in general. Also, the more people cumulatively you don't deal with, they have a cumulative effect on your social interaction in general. So let's say I don't deal with somebody's dysfunctional behavior. I just say, you know what, I'm not hanging out with them. But guess what? They still exist on the earth, and they're still going to cause problems for somebody else. And when enough of those people have that attitude, when enough of us say, well, I'm not going to deal with this person, I'm going to isolate myself from this person, what are those people going to do?
They're going to continue doing what they keep doing.
Yeah, but you just don't hang out with them. What's going to happen? They're just going to disappear? What's going to happen?
Well, eventually they're going to do something extreme because they're going to keep getting negative reactions from
Yes.
everybody.
Eventually it's going to be like, I'll give you a prime example. You know, prisoners, a lot of people are like, just throw them in jail, throw them away and lock them away and throw away the key, right? Who cares what happens to them in prison? They get raped in prison, they get beaten in prison, they get shanked in prison, they are, in solitary confinement for a year and they go crazy in prison. Who cares? They're in prison. Doesn't matter to me, right? I'm not in prison. Doesn't affect me, right? Well, guess what? Eventually those people get out of prison. What do you think they're like if they've had nothing but painful experiences in there? They're going to inflict their pain on society and your society. They're going to go out, they're going to rob from people, they're going to beat up people, they're going to kill people, they're going to rape people. They're going to have all this pent-up aggression, and they're going to take it out on society. The same with those people you don't deal with. You are one person in their life, but cumulatively, when people start sweeping them under the rug left and right, eventually that type of ignoring punishment adds up. And if they have no positive incentive to socialize with other people, guess what? They're really going to become negative in that they're going to become violent. They're going to become George Sodinis. They're going to become Columbine shooters. They're going to become Virginia Tech shooters, right? So there's no such thing as not dealing with somebody or just sweeping them under the rug. That is wishful thinking. Yes, in a sense you can, because you can isolate yourself from somebody. You can cut them out of your life. A stranger or a waiter you don't like, or a bank teller you had bad service from. In a sense, you can cut them out of your life because you just don't have to go to that restaurant or go to that bank or talk to that person anymore at work, or, that friend, you don't have to hang out with them. But cumulatively, as a society, it's going to come around and eventually affect you. As we always learn here at Manhood Academy, socialization is a team sport, and all these things that you do eventually have a ripple effect in your social circles, not just locally, but also, regionally, in your area, in your state. Feminism didn't just infect one relationship. It's affecting people across the nation. And those attitudes get transported when you fly in a plane to another country and you talk to other people. That feminist attitude gets transferred. It's like AIDS. It's like you had sex with somebody in Africa, now they have AIDS, right? And vice versa. So those attitudes are infecting people. Like, how they always talk about, some guys are like, oh, I hate American women, I'm going to go get a foreign bride. And they get a foreign bride and they bring her here. What happens to the bride when she gets here?
She eventually starts learning the bad habits.
Right, she gets, quote, quote, Americanized. Girls around her start talking to her. You can't do that. He can't do that to you. You need to stand up, blah, blah, blah. Right? They get infected with that socialization element. You just thought, oh, I'm just going to ignore that bitch. I'm not going to deal with that bitch. Guess what that bitch is doing? She's going around fucking up all your relationships. She's talking to women you're dating. She's talking to men you're friends with, right? She's having an influence. So when you don't deal with dysfunctional behavior, it doesn't go away. You may just temporarily remove it from your life, but it never goes away unless you deal with it.
People are scared to deal with it and they don't have practice.
Yes. So back to Bogler's hiking fail. So there's a two-part problem here. On one hand, the instructor isn't enforcing his expectations because he's like, well, if I don't get along with Bogler on his hike, I'm just not going to see him again, right? Case closed. So on one hand, yes, that will happen. But on the other hand, as we just talked about, there's a cumulative effect that happens if you don't start dealing with if you don't start dealing with dysfunctional behavior in your social interactions. It'll come back to bite you. So there's that one side. On the other side, on Bogler's side, there is the negative incentive where people don't want to hang out with him anymore, right? When we're in the car and we're driving up to this hiking spot, I noticed Bogler talking to Dr. Dice, and they're arguing about something, and then Bogler makes a comment, Dice makes a comment back, and pretty soon there's like animosity there. You can kind of feel the tension, and all I'm thinking is, fuck, Bogler's ruining another trip. He doesn't want to get invited back again. So, while yes, it's not a good idea to avoid confronting dysfunctional behavior, on Bogler's side, he's just not going to get invited back. If nobody confronts his behavior, he's just not going to get invited back. It's less hassle. Even I'm thinking that. I can very well step in and say something, but I can't be there to enforce expectations for Dr. Ladice. I can't hold his hand. He has to do it. So, in a sense, I could get in there and say, Bogler, look, this is an instructor. You need to show more respect. But on the other hand, it's not for me to overstep my bounds. That's Dr. Ladice's issue. That's him needing to confront and deal with Bogler. And then on Bogler's side, well, if like I said, I was thinking in my head, oh fuck, Bogler's causing problems. My immediate reaction is, don't invite Bogler. Problem solved, right? Don't invite Bogler next time. So on the person's side who's initiating the problem, they're disincentivizing future social interaction. If you don't give somebody an incentive to meet your expectations, you may be right. You may be able to get your expectation met by just ignoring the other person, or just at the very least telling the other person to fuck off, right? I'm not going to do it your way, fuck off. But if there's no incentive, if you can't give that other person an incentive to keep interacting with you, if you don't have a good expression, if you're not reciprocating, right? If somebody's inviting you on a trip, there's a reciprocation involved. They're making a sacrifice. They're saying, look, I don't have to invite you, but I'm going to invite you. This is a privilege. This is a benefit to you. So now if you're taking that benefit, that privilege, and spitting on it, you're fucking up. Because now the other person is saying in the future, why should I give this person a free ride, a free vacation, a free good time with me if they're going to fuck it up? Why would I want to do that? Boggles?
Yeah, no, I see the problem. Like,
yes.
Now you talking about it makes me think about the other side, the other person's perspective, what they might be thinking, and what my actions might, it makes me think about it more thoroughly.
The problem is, this has been mentioned before. So on one hand, it's one thing to know it, but it's another thing to have the experience of it, where people just stop hanging out with you. So there's two issues. There's the issue of, there's the issue of, I need to realize that. But this has been pointed out a year ago on the exact same hike. Another hike with another student.
The intensity is lower.
The intensity is definitely lower. He's not picking up rocks and throwing them at you, as on a previous hike. But the problem is still existing. So, in one sense, this shows growth. This shows that Bogler's not resorting to violence by throwing rocks at Dr. Ladice.
To be honest, there were certain things when I heard that, I was like, you know what? I don't care if I don't have to hang out with this guy at home. And I heard certain things, like I didn't really appreciate. Like I was like, I'd rather hang out with Paperclip anytime over hearing to some of those jokes. I was like, okay, certain things just made me feel uneasy. Right.
We understand that. There is also the issue of Dr. Ladice having dysfunctional behavior. It's not, even I have tons of dysfunctional behavior. Again, the issue is authority. Who is in charge? Who is in authority? This is part of the lesson of learning how to exercise your authority, is that you need to understand you have to be subject to authority. For instance, I have a supervisor who lies a lot, or who will make up things just so he doesn't get in trouble and try to blame me for it. I can't always just go, hey, fuck you, you're a liar. I have to respect that he's the authority over me. So while I may not obey a certain request, which is going to get me in trouble, I still have to respect that he's a supervisor. He has authority over me. So whether I think he's dysfunctional or not doesn't matter, because as long as that authority hierarchy is there, I have to respect it. Same with like your mother and father. They may make a decision which is a totally wrong decision. You have information that says if they make that decision, it's going to cause a problem or it's going to fail. And you may be 100% correct. And they may not believe you. They may not want to listen to you. They may be stubborn for whatever reason. And they're going to go ahead and decide to do it their way. It's not a life or death decision. Let's say it's just not a life or death decision. It's just like they're going on a trip, and you know that going this way is going to get there faster, and they want to go this way, which is going to take twice as long. Now, you're definitely right. But because they have authority, so what? It's not a life or death decision. Do it their way. That's part of respecting authority, is doing things you don't want to do because you recognize the authority over you. Because eventually, you're going to be in charge, and you're going to require somebody else's submission, and you're not going to be doing it 100% right. Boggles, who is practicing to exercise his authority over women, is going to fuck up, and I don't even need to be there to know he's going to fuck up. He has a history of fucking up. So he, of all people, is in no position to be requiring authority over him to be 100% correct. Not going to happen. Did we cover the Bogler hiking fail?
Yeah, we did.
I actually wanted to cover it years ago, but just got sidetracked.
Oh, it's the original one?
No, that was it.
Okay.
I think we've already covered that on another podcast. You and hiking fails are usually we cover a subject for podcasts. We should just put that down as like a go-to column or a go-to subject we just cover. Bogler hiking fail. Next one. Okay, let's see. What are we on here? Here's a quote. I think it's from.
I want to say something. Like
yes. What's that?
Certain things do inspire me to be functional. Like when I hang out with people and stuff, like I've been very motivated to make my ways, and some people like inspire me to. I don't know. I just have to say it, and some people don't. Like,
good for you.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Lighter than air. I think this is his quote.
I like that guy. It's funny.
I know absolutely nothing about authority and have done nothing but rebel from this concept for years. I don't even know what my expectations are, let alone how to get them met. So I wrote a question. I think we might have covered this, where we said, what expectations should you have of men and women? This is kind of an interesting question. I think it's answered by your needs, though. So I don't know. I don't necessarily know how productive it would be to go into each and every individual expectation, because some are going to be slightly different than others. But in general terms, they're going to all be the same. We're going to have the same expectations because we're basing our expectations on what, Bogler?
On your needs.
Right. So whenever we know we need something, that is an expectation right there. So if we know,
get that need met.
Right, I need social interaction, I need a companion, I need a girlfriend, that's a need. So I have to make an expectation based on that. So it's I think part of the problem is guys kind of having a sense of what need is and that they need food. That's kind of obvious. But it's not as obvious to say, I need a girlfriend or I need social interaction. So it's very difficult for them to form an expectation of how people should act towards them or what they should expect when they're talking to people. You've had some experience with me. Why don't you give me a third party or second party perspective of what it's like, what you think my expectations are for talking to guys, if I'm just talking to you. What are you fearful of? Obviously you're fearful of something, that means I have an expectation in place. So when you're talking to me, you have some fear of doing something. So what is that fear of? What are you worried about?
Fear of like wondering if I'm saying things that might interest you. That's a fear.
Okay, so what's that? What would you think my expectation would be then?
Your expectation is to have a fun time in the conversation, and my fear is that maybe I'm not able to provide you a fun time.
Okay, so I would say that's a legitimate expectation. For instance, I've hung out with Bogler in the past when he was very handicapped in his in his expression. And it's just like talking to a fifth grader or, a third grader. It's not entertaining. They're asking you questions all the time and you're just answering questions. It's no fun. It's just like taxing on you. It gets to be draining. So I don't want to hang out with people like that are always asking me questions. Those are students to me, and I could talk to them on a forum or in a student-teacher context. I don't want to hang out with them as friends. If somebody's just going to keep asking me questions all the time. So for me, that is an expectation. When I hang out with somebody, I want to enjoy my time hanging out with them. I don't want it to be taxing. Now, because I realize, because I have authority and I know how to exercise it to some extent, and I have a lot more experience than probably anybody that I socialize with, I usually I realize that I'm going to be in a teaching position most of the time. So it's kind of like bearing the responsibility of authority. Like I realize they're going to be doing something dysfunctional. I'm going to either have to correct it, or I'm also going to have to lead them and show them what we should be doing as far as like how to lead an interaction. If somebody's stagnant, let's say Boggles. Boggles drives me fucking nuts, and I would never go to a club with him because he likes to drive back and forth in the parking lot for hours looking for a spot when you could easily park in the back and not fucking waste time. But because Boggles wants to get that front spot, he'll waste an hour looking for that front spot right up close to the club, and it just drives me insane.
Huh.
So
the funny thing is, paper clip gets pissed off at that.
Yeah.
Parking anywhere now.
So we develop, over time we develop these expectations, what we want from people, what we expect from people. A lot of them, I would say most of them are dysfunctional, but those ones that are based on your needs, those ones that get you from point A to point B in the shortest amount of time possible are going to become your expectations for people. So I want to have fun when I'm talking to people, when I'm interacting with people. That's one of my expectations, especially with friends. Maybe not with just strangers or acquaintances where I'm getting something from, from a guy at a restaurant, a waiter at a restaurant. But for friends, I'm realizing I'm going to need to step in and direct them and say, look, Boggles, stop fucking driving around this parking lot for hours. Just park in this spot way back here. We can just walk there. So in some sense, I need to step in and say, this is how it needs to be done. Because if I don't, if I just passively sit back and go, he'll eventually find a spot, I'm wasting my time too. And I don't want to waste my time when I'm with another person. So I start to value my time. And over a certain period of time, I guess you start valuing your expectations more and more and more. So you start enforcing your expectations. So if I start valuing my time, I want to enforce that expectation of my time not being wasted. So Bogger's going to be driving back and forth, and I realize there's only 4 hours to get in this club and do what I want to do. Well, he's wasting an hour of my time trying to park. So now I have to enforce that expectation. I don't want my time wasted. But if I didn't care about my expectation, I knew he was wasting my time, but if I just didn't care to enforce it, well, see, he's going to keep continuing that dysfunctional behavior. And I'm only shooting myself in the foot because I'm not saying anything. I'm not confronting any of his dysfunctional behavior. So he's going to keep violating my expectation. So you see, over time, with more experience, you realize, aha, my expectations are just as valuable as your expectations, as another person's expectations. There's no reason why my expectations shouldn't be met. So then that goes to enforcement. So I think we've kind of covered that. I thought we kind of covered that last podcast, or 2 podcasts ago.
We always do hit on the expectation.
Yeah, I guess we do in a sense. We eventually hit on that in what we're talking about. Do you have any expectations or anything that you have with new people, either friends, guys or girls that you're meeting? What do you expect from them specifically?
Well, I expect them to reciprocate. Like if I'm giving them attention, like when I'm talking to a girl, I expect her, if I'm saying stuff to her, to smile, to show me signs, appreciation of the things I'm telling her.
Yeah, that's good. So when students are starting out, they're starting to realize I matter. So then they start, like when they're talking to people. That's a good expectation is when you're talking to somebody, if you're showing them attention, that they give you reciprocal attention back. And if they're not giving you that, you need to enforce your expectation by punishing those that aren't paying attention to you. Like if you're talking to a girl and she's just like heads around the room, or she's not responding to you, you're just talking, for hours and she's saying nothing, then there needs to be some punishment. Speak up. Why are you so shy? Come on. It's time for you to talk. It's time for you to speak. I want you to say this. I want you to say that. So not only do you need to be punishing, but you also need to be stating your expectation and leading her down your expectation. For instance, it's expected when you're talking to a new girl, you're going to be doing a lot of the talking because girls are shy, naturally shy, and they need your pleasurable conversation, your pleasurable expression to open up, right? To laugh a little bit, to feel comfortable with you enough to open up.
Permission to talk to and express what they want to say.
Right. So you're talking to them. Some girls will take abnormally long. I'll be like, what the fuck? And I'll come in and say, okay, see, you're like a little silent mime. Okay, here's what you need to do. When I say, and I'll do it just like this, just like I'm talking to you right now. Pretend you're a girl. I'll say, see when I'm telling you this funny little story here? You're supposed to go, oh my gosh, that's such an amazing story. I'm so happy to hear it. That's such a beautiful story. And now I want to tell you about my puppy, right? So I'll give them just the whole little prompt, and I'll tell them exactly what I want them to say. And leading in this way is going to prompt responses in them. When you're punishing dysfunctional behavior and initiating functional behavior, telling people what you expect of them, you're going to cause them to decide. And that's what you always want to do, is make another person decide on something. You don't want to let a person sit back and be passive and be neutral. You always want to make them decide to like you or not like you. If a person is not liking you, or if a person is not liking you or hating you, you're doing it wrong. Let me say that again. If a person is not liking you or disliking you, you're doing it wrong. If you're sitting back and allowing them to be passive in the conversation, you are doing it wrong. If a person has a very passive opinion about you and doesn't decide anything about you either way, they don't care if they like you or don't like you, they don't have an informed opinion, you're doing it wrong. That means you're not enforcing your expectations. That means you're not a valuable person to them. People hate valuable people and they love valuable people, but they never feel indifferent about valuable people.
Yeah, I would say that because some people, like the way I come across, they may be repelled by the same thing I tell somebody, but then somebody else, like a different girl, she's attracted to the same damn thing. So, like right there, they're repelled. Like in one case they were repelled, in one case they were attracted because whatever their conditioning was. But what I said was the same thing.
Yes. Sometimes you may say the same to the girl. One time she'll be so dysfunctional she won't even bite. She'll be like, ugh, you're such an asshole. Another girl will be less dysfunctional and she'll be like, oh, you're finally a guy who has a spine. I'm so attracted. And
you
you've said
can't
exactly
really,
the same thing.
Same thing. So you can't really predict the outcome, but you can only try to maintain, like, focus on your form.
Yes. Focusing on your form. Enforcing your expectations. Exercising your authority the right way. Practicing your form. Not changing your expectations to meet other people's expectations.
That's a big part, yeah.
Not trying to justify yourself to meet their expectations. Okay, so if you're not, I was going to write something from the book here. If you're not enforcing your expectation, you're doing it wrong. What did I say? If people don't like or dislike you, not valuable for them. I'll just put a little note for ebook, future inclusion in the ebook.
Yeah,
okay,
people either like or dislike valuable people. They're not ambivalent to valuable.
Yeah, people not ambivalent.
They're not opinionless. That is a word.
About valuable people.
They have an opinion either way.
They can like or dislike. But
they're a valuable person, but not.
They're never neutral about them. Okay. And next. Quiz number 6. Wait, did I skip that? Read Harposian. I think I skipped somebody here. Confusing the chat room for the fucking chat room. Confusing the chat room for the can I get help room. Fucking students. This topic drives me insane.
The tech support room.
Yeah, the tech support room. Hi, Plum. I talked to this girl, and then, and it just scrolls the fuck up. I just wait for it to scroll the fuck up so I can just ignore it completely. I hate when people do that. They have, like, who the fuck came in there? They had some interesting thing to report, and they just typed it in the chat room and didn't even fucking bother to write an EM report about it. This is a perfect example of why I want to beat half the students in the face. They fucking waste my time. They waste their time. They waste their fellow students' time. They're fucking disrespecting the students. They're here. They're getting benefit. They're getting the benefit of reading other people's EM reports. And one of those lazy fucking faggots do in the chat room. Oh, here's my EM report. Oh, look, it just scrolled by. Oh yeah, don't worry. I don't need to retype it in the expectations management section. It just scrolled by already. Fucking cocksuckers.
Is that the hope of getting instant gratification, instant solution?
Yeah, here, let's just talk about this buddy, you and me, Plum. Here, you and me will be buddy. Fuck you. You're a fag. I don't want to be your buddy. That's what I want to tell them. I know I can't just type that immediately, but that's what I want to tell them. I want to say, look, you fucking asshole. Go type this in an EM report. Who the fuck was it? I wish I could remember. Let me look and see.
A lot of guys, including me.
I'm sure it was everybody in the chat room right now. Okay, skip it. So, one more time. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to repeat this, but I have a feeling I'm going to be repeating it every single podcast. You fucking idiots in the chat room. You know what? Fuck it. Let's... Since the students are such fucking assholes... Hold on. Since the students are such fucking assholes, we're going to go... Guess where we're going, Boggles?
The chat room?
No.
The Jurassic Park doesn't...
We're going to the honing expression section.
Oh, damn. That's like a hardcore section. Post that.
No, we're going to the chat room post, the sticky post. Oh, look, it's the first sticky in the honing expression section. You'd think people would pay attention to it. No.
Yeah, they're probably like, damn, this post is so long. What the hell is this?
Yeah. Fucking assholes. Oh, wait a second. It looks like part of this post is busting out of here.
I don't know. The chat thing really needs to be enforced. Like, they just need to convey their experience. It's so easy not to do everything but that.
Hold on a second. Fucking cocksuckers. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oh, fuck. I just installed this new theme. And it's not... I knew it. I knew it wasn't going to do it right. Oh, by the way, students, notice I've installed a bunch of new themes for your viewing pleasure. So if you like a lighter chat room, a dark chat room, you like different functions, etc., you can try out. There's about 3 or 4 new ones I just added with different headers, different logos. So you can kind of test them out.
I like that you're caring for students who like black backgrounds. Guys like me.
Oh, but I think I didn't. Actually, I think I didn't choose a dark background because I was thinking about your eyeballs.
I just forced it on there.
I was like, you know what? I could do this black background here, but I think I read that white text on black background strains your eyes more than the reverse, where you have dark text on white backgrounds. So I was thinking about your eyeballs.
I was thinking about that, but then what I did, I changed my text to orange over black.
Okay, so what I'm going to do...
The contrast is not as hard as white on black.
Hold on, my Indian cohort. Okay, I think I'm going to add it. Place in line.
Background
Yes.
white is too intense.
Okay, place in line. BAP. So I'm adding. The thing I hate about these graphics is sometimes you add a graphic, right?
Yeah.
And if the theme is smart, right, the style you're using is smart, it automatically shrinks the image so it fits in the, in the boundary of the chat, right? Or in the boundary of the forum. But sometimes if the theme is retarded, it kicks out the right side of the forum and it fucks up the entire forum.
Yeah, I think I've noticed that.
So you got to click the place in line button. Like sometimes you can upload a graphic, place it in line, select it. Let me see if this fixes it. Fucking driving me
The
nuts.
place in line, I don't know, it's weird. Sometimes it places nice, like in big. Sometimes it shrinks it.
Yeah, but if it places in line, obviously your graphic is going to be bigger than the forum boundary. Oh, you cocksucker! It didn't work. Why? Why did I do that? Okay, forget it. Let's just cover this.
Yeah.
Okay, so the chat room. We're reading the chat room post if you want to follow along.
There is the first post. Okay.
Well, let's take turns reading this exciting post.
Okay.
There's a chat room feature. There's a chat room feature at the bottom. And like most things in life, its use or abuse depends on you, you asshole. Sorry, I added that. I editorialized it. The asshole wasn't in there, but I should have added it. Okay, go ahead.
Add emphasis. Rule number 1 of the chat room. Do not, well, we already know that. You want to cover it?
Oh, you fucking retard.
Do not fucking post personal information. That's like common sense. In the damn
You'd think that all of this was common sense, Bogler, but we're dealing with retarded Manhood Academy students. Now read the fucking post.
Do not fucking post personal information in the goddamn motherfucking chat room. You cocksucking faggot motherfuckers. God, I never got so much.
Sorry. Since Bogler's rated G, I'll give you the R-rated version. Edit. Okay. Rule number 1 of the chat room. Do not fucking post personal information in the goddamn motherfucking chat room, you cocksucking faggot motherfuckers. Some of you are insane. You're posting your credit cards, your names, your addresses, your mom's date of birth, etc. Use your fucking brain. Every now and then we will get a guy like Lighter Than Air who likes to post all of his personal information online, but we have to help him out. So if you see somebody like that, I'm going to say that nobody in recent history has posted their information, so that's good for the students. But just as a reminder, because it seems like the students are completely retarded and completely forgetting what the chat room is for, so we're here to remind them. If you have to want to contact, what the fuck's it?
You want to contact somebody in private.
What is this? What is this Chinese grammar? Bogler.
Yeah, it happens on occasion. I noticed.
Yeah, but I hate it when I fucking catch my own spelling errors. It drives me insane.
Yeah, I would
okay.
Drive me into thought.
If you want to contact another student to trade emails, sperm, personal info, do it in a motherfucking private message, you fucksticks. Yeah. Go to PM, it's simple. Yeah. Go talk to them in Gmail chat.
Yep. Instead of PMSing in the chat, PM.
Instead of sharing it in the chat, don't share your menstrual cycle in chat, share it in PM. Since you guys are mostly fags, supposedly training to become non-fags.
Okay, I'll read this.
Yes, you read this.
You will wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and keep waiting for something to magically happen, but never does.
Yes. You like to sit and chat and go, oh, I can't wait till Plum types. I can't wait till Bogler types. I can't wait till Vic types. Yeah. I can't wait till High School 101 types. Once they say something, then all the pressure will be off, and then I'll be able to jump in and say something really cool.
So much easier.
And when that happens, we have thoughts like Vic's coming in. Hi, Boggles. Hey, what's going on? DKO coming in. Hi, what's going on? Bogler coming in. Hi. High School 101 coming in. Hi. Mother son. Hi, everyone. So when I took this screen capture, every one of these fags in the chat room had said hi about 3,000 times. Completely useless. Yeah, in different ways. Congratulations. Some of you said hey. Some of you said hola. Some of you said, are you there, buddy? Hello, world. Right? Hey, everyone. All completely fucking useless.
Yes.
And nothing will ever happen. That is the great secret behind the chat room.
This is the mystery of social interaction, just like the mystery of Hogwarts and the mysterious lightning bolts across your vaginas. The magic is in your heart.
But whenever you see the word heart, think will, as in either you will chat or you won't chat. Not can or can I chat. It's will I or won't I chat. It's that mysteriously simple. Either you will chat or you won't chat. So let's get past this mysterious barrier first. Let's say for argument's sake you decide to chat. Guess what? You've crossed the first barrier of Hogwarts into the shadowy land of Mordor.
Yeah. Are everybody getting all your references?
Who cares? Now comes your next choice, young hobbit. To fag or not to fag. Will you fag it up? Or will you practice leading and bringing others into your experience? Will you forever be hoping to be led in a direction by somebody else? Oh, please help me out. Oh, please, Plum, help me out. Or will you one day provide direction to others? Everybody in the chat room is retarded. They don't know what they're doing. So there's no pressure. The only pressure is from me. I'm the only one in there that knows what I'm doing. Everybody else has no idea what they're doing. So if you see a bunch of students in there, just start talking.
Yes.
Some of you think that just by avoiding making a mistake, you're actually improving. Let's see what that looks like. And Paperclip comes in. Hey, well, I'm glad I avoided being part of that Photoshop. I'm glad I'm not as screwed up as them.
I'm cool. I'm smart.
I'm cool. I'm smart. Wrong, Paperclip. You got caught. You got caught with an extra large penis in your mouth. In case you haven't realized,
you don't get anywhere by not moving forward. There is no neutral position. You're either going forward or you're failing by default, which most people don't get.
Can you read those two sentences one more time? That's a crucial point here.
In case you haven't realized, you don't get anywhere by not moving forward. There is no neutral position. If you're not going forward, you are failing by default.
No neutral position. If you're not chatting, you're failing. Sitting there in the chat room is failure.
Yes, yes.
If you're reading posts, fine. You have an excuse. But if you're not reading posts and you're just waiting for a buddy to come along, and you're not at least saying something to somebody in the chat room, hoping there's somebody will respond, you failed.
But you know what? Even if you're reading chats and you're there like 2 hours, 3 hours every day reading chat, you should at least, if you're there, you should at least...
If you're in the chat room and you're done typing and you scroll down and you look in the chat room, if you look at the chat room, you should be typing something in there. At least 10 sentences.
Because guys are just going to keep reading and reading and reading
and
reading.
Fuck that nonsense. If you're in the chat room, practice typing 10 sentences. That's your goal. I'm going to write that in there.
Yeah, that's a good goal.
What's the new goal? Okay.
At least practice.
Goal
if you look at the damn
for the chat room. Goal for the chat room. I'm going to go into full editor. I'm going to go boop, bold. And I'm going to say, if you're in the chat room, type at least 10 sentences.
Dude, that's quite a lot.
Every fucking time you look at the chat room. So if you don't look at the chat room and you're just reading posts, okay. But if you even glance, okay, I'm going to even write this down. So if you're not in the chat room and just reading posts, okay. But, bold, and let's say huge size. But, if you even take one teeny, how do you spell teeny? T-E-E-N-Y?
Yeah,
teeny, tiny,
same spelling.
itsy, bitsy peek at the chat room window. You better type out those fucking 10 sentences or I will hunt you down and eat your children. Period.
But what do I type? I don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they're thinking.
Too bad. Type, I don't know what to say. I'm so nervous.
Exactly.
That's perfect. Okay, back to the, where do we leave off?
Know that they can type that.
Where do we leave off?
You're failing by default. If you're not typing, you're a failure. If you're not typing, you're a failure.
If you think you're going to avoid failure simply by not doing anything, you're already fucking up. Mistakes, failures, losses, etc. are all part of the process of learning how to convey yourself to others. Will you eternally be groping for a hand to hold in the dark world of chat? Or will you be an adventurer, boldly practicing to lead others into a stimulating world of chat that you've created? Will you become the chat direction?
Yeah.
Or will you be doomed to a world of penis-flavored greetings? What's up, bro? Hey, what's up? How's it going? Hi, how are you?
You could be the director of your conversation, or you could be a passive passenger.
Oh, there's even an amazing video I made for you guys for the chat room. I want to play it right now because it's so amazing. Don't play it. I'll get distracted. Okay.
Yeah, I played it for a second to refresh my
So
memory.
students, when you refresh your memory, go back and play this fucking video because I made it and I want you to play it. Do you want to be the lazy chat fuck who waits in line at Disneyland for 2 hours hoping to get 30 seconds of enjoyment? Or do you want to be the ride designer who has fun working all day long to create the ride? Don't be a chat fag.
Be a chat chum instead. Be a guy who people look forward to. They see you in there, they want to talk to you. They're like, oh, this guy's talkative. I want to talk to him. I want to see what he has to say.
Exactly.
Don't be a chat weight or a burden that people have to drag along. Why the fuck would anybody want to talk to you if you're not stimulating? Just, common sense.
If you're not stimulating me, why do I want to talk to you? Practice. Practice. Practice.
Even if you fail. Actually, keep failing in the chat room.
Keep failing in the chat room. Chat room is the best place to fail.
Imagine if this site ran the way you fags chatted.
Yes. Imagine if I ran the site the way you guys chatted. Would anybody even last past 2 days? I'm pretty sure you'd be bored out of your minds and leave the academy. Don't be that chat leech sucking other people's blood. Don't be that chat mosquito buzzing around looking for prey. People will swat at you to get the fuck away from you. Okay? Yes. You remember your expression practice? The chat room is the real-time version of that. You are the one who needs to volunteer to chat. To volunteer to chat. That means you need to go forward. You need to bring others into your experience. You need to pry and probe both into your own life and the life sitting next to you, the person in the chat room.
Oh, that's the person, yeah. Okay.
If you sit back like a lazy fuck and lay on your chat belly, you will end up the exact same chat bag you started as. There is a reason the hobbits took the Ring of Power to the fiery tomb of Mordor. They knew the ancient secret inscription would unleash too much power into your hands that could never be controlled. But I have decoded the ring for you guys.
The secret is
Don't be a
chat bag.
Yes, that's what it says in the ring. I know you're thinking, but Gandalf, nobody is chatting in the land. Nay, there are only 2 chatters, and one is probably off looking at the porneth of anal in the land of Spank. How shall I rescue the chat, if there be none to help? Your timing is so terrible. I like how you talk while I'm talking, so people just completely missed what you said. It was so beautiful, except you said it right when I was ending my sentence.
Yeah, I thought I almost hit the end, and I was like, almost there.
Yeah, you blew it. Okay, try that again. How shall I rescue the chat if there be none to help?
Shut your crybaby chat hole and chat anyway. Chat in the face of chat adversity. Get chatty.
Hearing you read is amazing. Shut your crybaby chat hole and chat anyway. Chat in the face of chat adversity. Get chatty. Here, view this educational film on chatting. Now, I didn't make this film, but I wish I had made this film because it is very educational. It teaches you what a real man is like when he chats. Now, this guy is chatting while shooting people with his machine gun out of a helicopter. If you can do that, you're going to be somebody in life. Now,
that was the point. I mistook the video as like, he keeps shooting, and he's like, that's his speech. His bullets are, I'm like...
Okay, we'll use that metaphor too. We'll go with that too. Now, do you want to be this puking fag rafterman who is worried that nobody is chatting, and so he has to puke up his lunch? Or do you want to be the guy blasting fuckers in that chat rice patty?
Oh no, I don't have anything to say. And it,
get some. Oh no, but my life is boring.
Get some.
Oh, but it's too hard. I don't know how to chat and make people like me.
Get some.
Yeah, exactly. Stop your chat whining and get it on. Chat doesn't exist without you to make chat sounds. If there is no chat pop, how will the children know where to go? You must make the chat pop happen. You hold the key to the chat pop in your ASDF JKL semicolon. Your home row is the trigger. Pull it. I'm going to pull it. Watch. I'm going to type in the chat room. I'm going to show you how easy it is to type in the chat room. I'm not even going to make sense.
Yeah.
Banana, algorithm, X fast, loco, I'm going to say taco wrap, and fuck. Why when I'm trying to do a live demonstration, does the cocksucker chat room freeze on me? Hold on a second.
There's a chat lag every now and then.
God damn it.
I just thought of something. All these guys should think of them, they're like scientists, and the chat room is like their lab, their experiment. They keep trying different things.
Terminal V, sweet sound of gingerbread, X ham, bacon hero 57. Okay, I've typed in the chat room, banana algorithm, X fast, terminal V, sweet sound of gingerbread, X ham, bacon hero 57, and I like boggles. I just typed it in the chat room, and guess what? I didn't melt. I'm still here. Nothing terrible happened. It wasn't exactly entertaining or even coherent, but I typed. Do you see that? I stimulated. Now somebody is going, Vic is in there in the chat room going, what the fuck is that some secret puzzle? What is he saying?
Yeah, what's he saying?
He's being stimulated. That's what's happening.
That's right.
Okay, let's go back. Where did we leave off?
Yeah, so they should be like, scientists. They should just practice. It's like a lab experiment there. They just try different experiments.
Yes.
The chat room is the lab.
Be in the laboratory. Be a scientist in there.
There you go.
That's the post you need to add to this chat room post, is your little laboratory post. Okay, if you can write an entry in your expression section without people around, you can do the same thing in the chat room. They are the same thing. The only difference is in your perspective. You realize that? The only difference is in your perspective. Get rid of the fag perspective and start getting it on with a get some perspective. Start giving it to others. Start giving them the chat in their fucking faces. Bring the chat to them. That is the same thing as typing your expression post. You can type an expression post in the chat room. That is the same thing as chatting. Now, go forth into the Shire and seek not the chat bottle and blanket. Seek the chat chalice of Chattoria. Be the stimulator of chat, not of balls.
I just got an idea. You know how these guys are scheduling, writing their expression posts? Maybe every other day they should put it in their schedule, type 10 or 20 sentences in the damn chat room.
That should be a new rule, though, that they should see when they read this chat post that I just added.
Right.
If they want to put it in their schedule, great. Be my guest.
Every other day, type 10 sentences in the
I don't think that should be in your schedule. I think that should be a normal thing for you. But if you want to schedule it, that's fine, too.
Yeah.
Be the stimulator of chat, not of balls. Bring others into your fantastical world of common experiences, not common laziness. Train for battle with a great eye. Stop hugging the great penis. Look at these fucking amazing sentences I just wrote here.
They may take your lives. They may take your fortunes. They may take your freedom. But they will never take your expression practice.
I can't believe I wrote these sentences. So amazing. Protect the Shire. Guard the princess. Collect all 500 Pokemon. Don't watch Sex in the City 2. None of that made any sense. But I was practicing my chatting. Be the chat. Be the chat. Be the chat. Keep it chatty. Okay.
Sometimes we're like chorus. We say it at the same time.
Yes. After reading this post, you should know exactly what to do once you enter the chat room. If not, either I didn't explain the purpose clearly enough, or you have trouble reading. In either case, let me know. This is like your buddy's living room, only with boundaries. Although there will be conflict at times, the chat room isn't a place for you to actively go out searching for conflict with others. In the chat room, you shouldn't act like Bogler on a hike. You have the opportunity to... Yes.
Right?
You have the opportunity to practice talking to your buddy, aka your fellow students, visitors, instructors, etc. This is the reason why he wants to be your buddy in the first place. Your conversation with him should be an enjoyable incentive. Isn't it amazing? We're getting so pissed off because people aren't properly having fun.
Yes.
I'm trying to teach you how to have fun, and you're fucking pissing me off by ruining it, by not having fun. Nothing pisses me off more than students fucking up the fun in the chat room. An enjoyable incentive. He looks forward to when seeing you. This is the time for you to practice honing your expression. If I like reading what you type and I have a good time talking to you, then you've accomplished the goal of the chat room. Did you hear that? If I like reading what you type and have a good time talking to you, then you've accomplished the goal of the chat room. If we end up saying ASL and I get naked, we have taken a wrong turn somewhere. Or if you say sup and I say sup and then we have 20 minutes of silence, we fucking failed. We broed out and gone nowhere. Go ahead.
Many ways to fuck up in the chat room, but only one way to get it right. You'll know if you're getting it right because you'll want to continue chatting and you'll want to come back because there's a good incentive to do so. Be that incentive.
Don't look for that incentive. Be that incentive. Let's read this again. You'll know if you're getting it right because A, you'll want to continue chatting. Right? If you're having a good time talking to somebody, don't you want to keep talking to them?
Yes, of course. You want to experience more of
that. And B, you'll never want to come back and talk to them ever again, right?
You'll want to come back because there's a good incentive to do so.
I try to trick you, Bogler. I try to trick you. I said, you won't want to come back.
I finally paid attention and stuff, being in Wonderland.
This is amazing. This is the first time in history. You'll want to come back because there's a good incentive to come back and chat, right? You had a good time. Yes. So you want to come back and do it again.
People like good times.
Practice, practice, practice. Stop using the chat room for your EM posts, you fucking retards. Whoever's doing it. I see you. I want to kill you. I want to stab you in your face.
Yep.
Okay, let's move on.
Yep. and practice typing. What else?
I wrote, confusing the chat room for the helper. Let me cover that. I wanted to read one of Lighter Than Air's posts out loud because he reminds me of Ned Flanders. The way he writes is so disturbing sometimes. It's interesting. I like it because he's a great writer, but
yeah, he's a great writer.
It's also very disturbing for me because I think of him as Ned Flanders drinking like a cool potion. Let me give you an example, okay? So let's go find one of his posts. Yeah. Let's go find one of his posts here. I'm going to go on to page 3. Okay. Where is he? It's probably on page 2. Let me see if I can find one. I'm going to try and find one of these posts that kind of characterizes how he sounds to me. Because he has a very strange sound in my head. I'm going to try and read it exactly how I picture him sounding.
I love the guy.
Mercy.
Hurry up, man.
Okay. I'm just going to choose the last one on page 2. Just a month ago, actually, I was riding in a Buick Park Avenue. And boy, those suckers are smooth, baby. With my aunt and uncle through suburban Chicago. They're in their 70s, 80s, no kids, but just the most straight arrow, ever helpful, super prudent pillars of the great Chicagoland Lutheran community you ever imagined. She's practically the mayor, and he's the quiet one. They both kept the same jobs plus promotions for their entire working lives. This isn't doing it. He has these like little weird quotes, and I just want to catch one of these.
Yeah, you know
and he was driving, it came back.
Because then he says, "Oh, Lordy Lord."
Yeah, he has these little expressions. Lordy Lord. And I'm thinking, it sounds normal for a second, all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This guy is, I have no idea what to picture. I'm trying to picture how this guy sounds, and it's just, I picture Ned Flanders, but then he says these things out of the blue that just throw me off. I can feel it. It's in my bloodstream. Maybe there's some on page 1. Let me check page 1 here.
I'm going to go to help you find the stuff.
He has like these little side conversations with himself all the time, and these little
so
quirky
funny.
little things that make his writing so interesting.
So interesting. You're like, oh, look at that cute little guy. All right, where are you looking at? Expectation or expression?
Expression section. I'm sure he's done it. Oh, fuck. Okay, well, there goes that segment. I know I was just reading something that I should have just copied and pasted it. Fuck. Why don't I think?
Oh, I really liked his expression thing where he was in his expectation thing where he was in this car with this lady that never shuts up, and he started calling her NSU, never shuts up.
Yes. So anyway, back to MA Top Secret Clubhouse. I've been having this daydream picture coming to the top of my head. Finally, justice is mine, motherfucker. Don't you ever. Okay, Light in there, we get it. You were fantasizing about being violent and cruel. A lifetime of pent-up and sublimated frustration and anger. We get it, you sick fuck. So he's talking to himself. This guy's insane. Okay. Yet another one of our characters at Manhood Academy, one of our fellow students.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give you a taste. I thought it was a unique reading his post, so I wanted to recognize that. Yeah. Deleting chat, deleting or changing posting info. This is one of the things that makes me, as much as the chat room makes me want to sever people's heads, this one makes me want to put your body in one of those 50-gallon drums and dissolve you in acid.
Yep.
Deleting, changing. Okay, I originally called out Vic on this and made a total fucking mistake because I looked at the editing time and it said this post has been edited in June. And I'm like, that fucking cocksucker, did he change it? Because he recently went through a breakup. So I'm thinking,
June 2011,
usually, yes, when you go through a painful experience, you want to hide your dysfunction, you want to hide your failure. So I immediately thought, this guy fucking deleted or altered his relationship with his girlfriend, just so he wouldn't look bad.
Yeah.
So I immediately was ready to go on the warpath, and he pointed out to me, but Professor, I haven't altered my post since last year, and I looked at the date, it says June, and then it says 2010. Retard.
Oh.
Yes, even Plum is retarded. Yes, even Plum jumps the gun, students. Okay. Yes, so I want to at least address this, though, because I know somebody will do this in the future. And also, High School 101 is engaged in this behavior. Yeah. Also, one of our past students one time he went around and deleted all his bad posts. I fucking wanted to murder him. Do not delete or change your posts, okay? Your failures, you don't realize, they may be embarrassing to you, but they're very educational and instructional to other students. They're the warning signs of what not to do. Also, they mark your progress. If you just came in here knowing what to do, what is the fucking point of posting? If all your posts are super smooth, cool, what the fuck is the point of having them? I don't care about your posts if they're super smooth and cool. Your posts are supposed to be retarded. They're supposed to be correction. You're supposed to see progress from your first post to your present post. If you fuck up that progress by deleting or changing your posts, you will ruin it for everybody. Not only yourself, you'll ruin it for all the other students at the academy. So don't fucking do it. Just future warning for any students who I know are going to be tempted in the future to go back and edit your posts. Don't fucking do it. Okay. Read Harpo's EM post verbatim, cover problem with his faggotry.
Hold on, I'm trying to understand why you have your last minute magic versus lifetime training. I'm curious about it.
Oh yeah, where's that at?
It's right in the...
Oh, I see what you're at. Last minute magic versus lifetime training. This is where, who messaged me? Hold on, I gotta, let me turn off this. Somebody have their chat click on? I just heard a chat click.
Yeah, me too. That's why I'm curious.
John. Here's John. Hi, Vic.
Oh,
Hi, Boggles. Hi, Plum. Hi, high school. After we just talked about what to do in the chat room. But he's a brand new student, so he's expected to have his head up his ass.
He's going to have fun listening to the podcast.
Yes, he's going to have fun listening to the podcast. John, you retard. Go read the chat room post. Practice chatting in the chat room. Okay. Who asked me? Yes, I think somebody posted. I think it was Wolf. Was it Wolf? I think it was Wolf. Who's basically asking about something in the chat room while he's on a date or, while he's in the middle of a cafe waiting to talk to somebody or waiting to meet up with somebody. He wants that last minute advice. Help me out. I'm drowning right now. I need that lifesaver.
Me too.
Every time, what's Plum's answer? What is Plum's answer?
Type it in the EM or, I don't know.
Die, you fag. Die, you fag. When they are looking for that, they got a 10-minute time window and they want me to rush. Hurry up, Plum, I need the answer right now. My answer is always, fuck off. Die, you fag. Okay? Yes, lifetime training is what I care about, not last-minute magic tricks. I care about you learning how to swim before you get in the ocean. I don't care about throwing you a life vest or throwing you a life preserver when you're already drowning. If you jumped in the ocean and you were thinking I was going to throw you a life preserver, even if I have one, I'm going to burn it right in front of you. Or I'm going to throw it on the other side of the ship so you can't reach it. I want you to drown. I want you to realize that social interaction is based on training. It's not based on last-minute panic. If you're panicked, you're like, Plum, I just need that 1 10-second advice before the girl comes, you're already fucked. I hope you screw up. I hope she throws water in your face. I hope she throws steak at you. I hope she throws corn at you and leaves and laughs in your face. So you'll get it through your thick skull. It's not about the last-minute tip you need. If you need a last-minute tip, you already fucked up. You already lost. You already blew it. Yes, your perspective is the problem, not the last tip at the last minute you need. Can you turn off that fucking chat click?
Yeah. I think I have so many tabs.
Yeah, you have 20 tabs open. You don't know which one is clicking.
So I just closed everything.
Okay. Cover that one. All right. So we got to cover Harpo's EM post. Oh, Harpo's latest post. Harpo EM section. Board. Let's go to...
no, I have to go back to the forum. Great.
Expectation management. Let's go to... Where's Harpo? Okay, Harpo's Dream Quest. I'm going to go to page 6 of Harpo's Dream Quest. Ahoy, matey! Alright, let's see. Where did I say podcast? I'm going to go podcast. Okay. Fix this EM report. I'll cover it in the podcast. Oh yeah, obviously this sucks a lot. Okay. So, it's actually on page 5, because I quoted it on the top of page 6.
Page 5? Okay.
So it's probably somewhere near the bottom of page 5.
Alright, I'm heading over there.
Alright, so it starts off, the last post, page 5. It starts off, there's a girl I've become sort of interested in over the past few months. We hung out with other people yesterday, and I thought it went pretty well.
Yeah.
This, I think, is delusional, because I don't know how well it would have gone. If it had gone as well as he had thought, I think they would already be dating. But I think he has a delusional view of how it's going. So, we'll see. We all had a good time, and so I got her number and stuff earlier today, thinking I would strike while the iron was hot, right? Like, oh, it's going to cool down. Oh, she's not going to like me anymore. As I was attempting to leave a message on her voicemail, she called me up to my surprise.
I thought that was striking while the iron is hot. I didn't see a problem with that until you...
Yeah, nothing's wrong with calling early, but I think in his head it's like, if he doesn't call her back soon, she's going to not like him anymore. Whereas, if you're building attraction with a girl, that's a lasting thing. That doesn't just wane. Unless she's just some stranger you met 5 minutes ago, yeah, you might need to call her back pretty soon. But if this is a girl in your social circle who you're seeing over an extended period of time, that attraction is going to build. It's not going to be lights on, lights off, like with a stranger. After bringing her into my experience a bit, I decided to actually ask her out. The reason I wanted to call her in the first place. I got out my MP3 player and recorded my end of the conversation. Okay, so he recorded it. Harpo speaking, but hey, so I was I was thinking about food earlier today, and I was thinking about crepes in particular. Do you like crepes? Stating his expectation that she answer my question. True or false, Bogler?
Stating his expectation that she answered his question.
Yes. Do you like crepes?
True. That's not his real expectation, but if his expectation was if she likes crepes, yeah, she answered it. But his true expectation is definitely not stated there.
Why isn't it stated? What's happening? What's the problem? Talk to me.
Do you like crepes? Is like just some conversation, like a pretense to get to the real thing. Is like, hey, let's go. I want to go and have crepes with you and get to know you.
Yes.
That is the real thing.
But hey, so I was thinking about food earlier today. What's that called?
That's all like a pretense, mostly like because you're scared. You're doing all the nonsense.
What's that called? But hey, so I was thinking about food earlier today. I wasn't thinking about fucking you. I was thinking about food.
A long drawn out pretense.
What's that called?
Being a fag.
What's this called, Bogler? Hey, I was thinking about fucking you earlier today. What's that called?
Stating something.
Yes. What am I stating?
An indirect expectation.
That's indirect. I want to fuck you. I was thinking about fucking you.
Oh no! If I was thinking of fucking you, that's direct. Sorry.
Okay. Now what is? But so I was thinking about food earlier today. What's that?
That's an indirect statement of pretense.
Yeah, but why is he saying that?
Because he's scared to say what he really wants to say.
So what is he doing essentially?
Creating a pretense to set up.
Why is he creating the pretense? What is he trying to do with the pretense? What's the purpose of the pretense?
He is hoping that she will freaking figure out, like, from his pretense.
What do we call this concept? It's a huge concept that everybody fucks up on every time. If everybody figured this out, it would probably solve like 80% of the problems.
Repeat the question. Come on, man. Repeat it.
What is the concept that this is covered under? But so I was thinking about food earlier today, and then I was thinking about crepes in particular. Do you like crepes? What does all that have to do with? Why is he saying that pretense? What is that for?
For stating his expectation to his true expectation.
Okay, let's pretend this is his expectation. I want to fuck you. I was thinking about fucking you earlier today, okay?
Yeah, can I, like, see your whole face, man? It's looking at your head while
Ah, fucking Bogler. Answer the question or I'm going to disappear from your camera.
Alright. Go on. I'm waiting for the question.
I've only asked the question 20 times. What is this concept? What if I say, hey, I was thinking about fucking you earlier today. What is that? What's that called?
That is directly saying, hey, I was thinking of fucking you, setting an expectation of, hey, I was thinking of fucking you.
What? Could you say that just clearly? One simple sentence? What is that called?
I was thinking of fucking you?
Yes, what is that called? Just give me a simple answer.
Stating what you're thinking of her. I don't see that as like...
Stating my expectation, right?
No, I want to fuck you is an expectation. I was thinking of
Okay. I want to fuck you.
Yeah, that is an expectation.
Okay. Now, when you start saying, but, so I was thinking about food earlier today, and I was thinking about crepes in particular, and no, god damn it.
All right, go on.
And I was thinking about crepes, and I really like crepes, and since I was thinking about crepes, I was thinking, well, I should probably go eat some crepes. And then I was going to this restaurant, but I think it seats more than one person. I think it seats 2 people, so I probably need to bring another person along. And I called 10 other people, and those people weren't able to come along, so then I thought, well, mate, you're the 11th person, so I thought, hey, maybe you'd like to come along because I need another person to go into this restaurant. Otherwise, they won't let me in. What's that called?
You're inappropriately justifying and giving all these reasons.
Yes.
For your expectations.
Yes.
And you're undermining it in the process.
Yes. The point is, you are trying to justify yourself to this girl.
Your existence.
You're trying to justify your existence. Hey, I like you, but I want to ask permission. Is it okay to like you? And here's a long pretense, just in case you don't like me, right? All that is doing is undermining your authority. All that is doing is creating disorder. All that is doing is causing her to not be attracted to you. Who asked for permission? Who asked for justification? Which one in the relationship should be doing that?
The chick.
Yes, that is sexy when a chick does it. I wanted to suck your cock. Is that okay?
Yeah.
That's sexy when a chick does it. When a guy goes, is it okay if we go out? Is that cool with you? If I don't mind if you don't want to go out, and you probably don't want to go out with me, but just in case you might want to, would it be cool with you?
It's unattractive and annoying.
Yes, because you're taking the chick position. She doesn't want a lesbian relationship. She wants to be led by you.
She is disgusted and
So she's like, oh, this is the gay best friend. Yes, I love crepes. Yes, I love them.
And that is a very big part when you're talking to girls. When you just not act like that, it makes a huge difference.
When you overly justify your expectation like this and don't state your direct expectation that you like her, she thinks of you as the gay best friend. Yes, I love crepes. I like crepes. If you're a guy who is exercising your authority properly, a girl will never be confused about whether you're just friends. Oh, we're just friends. Me and guys are just friends. You know who guys are friends with, or girls who are friends with guys like that? Fags. Guys who can't state their expectations. That's the reason why she thinks that guys and girls can be friends. Because of manginas who can't state their expectations. Yes, I love crepes. I love to have crepes with my gay friend. Harpo says, so my point was that we should go and get some crepes next week because I haven't had crepes in a really long time. And we can have a nice chat and eat some little crepes. Everything will be little.
Everything will be little.
Yeah. He's gone into Indian clown mode, right? Justifying everything.
Oh, yes, that reminds me. I used to end up there a lot. Yes.
We should go get crepes because I want to fuck you in the ass. Is that what he said?
No, he did not.
He said, we should go get crepes because I haven't had crepes in a long time.
Oh.
Is that the reason why he wants to have crepes with her? Because he hasn't had them in a long time?
That's not the reason. He is being dishonest right there.
Yes, he's being the dishonest nice guy. He's justifying himself. Is it okay if I exist? Is it okay if I like you? Do I have permission? Is it okay if I be the chick in this relationship?
Yes, it reeks of mangina.
Yes. And we could have a nice little chat and eat some little crepes and blah, blah, blah. So he goes in Indian clown mode. Everything will be little. Hee hee hee. Yeah. Hee hee hee. And then Carpo laughs. Hee 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 hee. Yeah. Yeah. So I like how he puts a stutter in here too. This is cool. Good work on the honesty, Harpo. I commend you at least on being honest here. Yeah. Yeah, so I was thinking like, mumble. We could, sorry, were you going to say something?
There you go. Honesty is attractive.
Honesty is attractive, at least in the forum, to me.
Well, even then, if he was honest with the chick, maybe he would have gone further. Hey, I like you and I want to have
Yes. I'm so scared, I'm so nervous. He had been honest with her, but at least hadn't asked permission and just stated what he wanted to express. Like you can be nervous about something as long as you're not asking permission to be nervous. Like I say, this interview is making me nervous, but I'm not asking you for permission if it's okay to be nervous. I'm just letting you know the fact. There's a distinct difference in perspective and attitude. Are you asking me on a date? Like she doesn't even fucking know. Are you asking? You're my gay best friend. Are you asking me on a date?
Actually, he was kind of hoping she'd figure it out too.
Yeah, because he's so fucking gay. He's like, I hope you figure it out. Harpo, I am. Yup. Golly, Miss Femme, I am asking you out on a date.
And Femme was like, sorry, I think you're a great guy.
Sorry, I think you're a complete fucking faggot, but I'm not interested in you that way. Sorry, you're a great guy, but I'm just not interested in you that way. I think we should just be friends. And Harpo, of course, is fine. Okay, golly, that's perfect. Okay, that's fine. I would love to be friends. Well, I'm just going to get crepes on my own then. Oh, yeah, I think, obviously, that sucks a lot. But if you're not attracted to me, you're not attracted to me.
I would have said shit like that. Oh, well, yeah, if you're not.
Well, you know, it's cool. Bro, if you're not, that's totally cool with me, bro. No problem, bro. Okay, so, once again, apologizing for his existence. Once again. At the very least, if she would have hated him for this and I wouldn't have recommended it, but he could have said, you fucking cunt, you bitch, how dare you, I ask you out and that's how you treat me, you bitch, you slut. If I ask you out, you should be flattered, you should be happy I asked you out. At least then, she would hate his guts and be like, I'm never talking to you again, but then she'd think, like, this guy has some balls, what the fuck, and then she'd talk to him next week and like, I can't believe you talked to me that way, and then he should be going, you know what, that's the way I felt. If you don't like me, fuck you, because I like you. And she's like, well, I never knew you liked me that way. Well, where do you want to go if we did go out? Which basically means she's already interested, and boom, then they go out. He at least has a chance. You realize by exercising his authority and being a man and punishing something that doesn't meet his expectations, by saying it's okay to have his expectation ask her out, by causing her to hate him, he has a better chance than just being this neutral faggot guy. Do you realize that? You have a better chance with a girl if she hates you than if she thinks nothing of you, if she's indifferent to you. If she just thinks of you as a gay best friend, you have less of a chance than if she hates you.
Yes.
If a girl hates you, you have a better chance of fucking her than if she just doesn't care for you. Either way.
And it's getting more apparent. I definitely need to remember that at all times.
Yes. This is one of my famous gasoline fuck station stories. I talked to this girl, and the first thing I said was, when I saw her, I said, I like that dorky thing, your outfit or something. I made some stupid comment about her outfit. And it was like, could be construed as offensive, and obviously she took it as offensive. She just looked at me, gave me that what the fuck look, and like walked off.
Yeah, but see, guys would be scared if they got you like that.
Yeah, but I didn't fuck her. She just left. Right? Offended. Ugh, my God, what did that guy just say to me, right? Guess what? I had a better chance if I just didn't. And I said, oh, it's a pleasant day out. We're having a nice day. It's nice weather, isn't it? Right?
Yeah,
I was one of those guys.
Yeah.
Next time I saw her, I forgot it was her. I didn't know it was her. I just said something else. Just when it just happened. And then about 10 minutes into talking to her, she said, remember when you talked to me the first time? You said something really offensive. I said, what? And you said something about my outfit and this and that. I said, oh, that was you. Ha ha ha. I just completely ignored it and kept going on. And eventually, vagina. The point is, if you are a guy enforcing your expectations, giving people incentive to meet your expectations, you have a better chance if a girl hates you than if she has no feelings towards you. Valuable people will be loved or hated, but nobody will feel indifferent toward them. Okay, next.
See, I didn't even notice that, like you said, how this chick is acting towards him. Like, he's asking her out, and he should expect she treats him better. I couldn't even figure that out from that, like, how you pointed it out. That thought didn't even cross my mind that he could expect the chick to behave in a better manner when he's asking her out.
Yes.
I didn't even think of that.
Well, that's another expectation you develop when you start talking to people. You expect women to respond a certain way to you. I've developed that expectation over time. It's like I expect girls to respond a certain way now. Now, if I give them my time, I feel like it's like they're hiring me for a job. I feel like fucking pay me, right?
See, that's a big thing. When guys are asking girls out, they need to have the expectation that they need to treat me with a certain respect.
Yes, even if a girl doesn't go out with you, she needs to give you a certain amount of respect, a respectful answer. What is the way you want to be turned down if you had to be turned down? How would you want to be turned down? That's what you should expect. And if she doesn't meet it, you should practice telling her how you want her to turn you down. Like if, let's say a girl is like, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. You should, don't act like a bitch. If you're going to not go out with somebody, you need to be polite and say like this. That's you practicing getting your expectations met, even when you're being rejected or turned down, so to speak.
Like that, okay.
That is excellent practice to say no. Not like that. You do it like this. Look, it's so sweet of you, da-da-da-da-da, right? She'll laugh. It'll ease the mood up. Whenever you take charge, it always makes a girl happy to talk to you, even if she's rejecting you.
That makes sense.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to write that for one of the examples. EM, example for ebook. Example for ebook.
Yeah.
Guy telling a girl how to reject him properly. So guys can even see, guys look at it in such a fucked up way. They're like, if I don't get this girl, I fucked up. No. When you're managing your expectations, if you get your expectation met, your expectation is for basically to have people treat you a certain way. When you get that expectation met, or when you're enforcing that expectation, that is exercising your authority properly. Punishing where there needs to be punishment. Now, people might not always respond to punishment the way you expect, but the fact that you're enforcing your expectation is what matters. How they respond is not up to you, but doing your part, enforcing your expectation, that is up to you.
Yeah, see, just yesterday I didn't get like this girl. I was like, oh shit. But I should have been focusing on what was going on with the expectations.
Yeah, was she meeting all your expectations?
No, not really.
Well, time to let her know what she needs to do properly next time. Okie dokie. Lighter than air's fatherhood concern. Ah, fuck. I hate this post. This guy is such an asshole. Alright.
He's ready to go in space.
Student section, he's ready to be an astronaut. Okay, where is this fucking post?
Like, I just got here yesterday, but
okay, so he's talking about lighter than air wants to know about children. Meanwhile, he's trying to slice his wrist because he can't find a girl.
Yeah.
Okay, what the fuck? Here we go. Okay. I've been ever so conflicted about this for some time now. I'd very much appreciate a sound off from you about how you feel about being fathers, because boy, do I want that. Oh man, always have. Women still put me on edge for sure. No BS there, but little kids just make me exhausted and happy. When a little girl calls out daddy to her dad, I just swoon. But then come the complications. Oh, the complications. I admit right now that I would be ashamed if my kids were born out of wedlock or divorced. Parents for that matter. That just feels nasty to me. Ergo, marriage. On the other hand, divorce and child support laws are scary, scary, scary. If every day my wife knows that she can walk out, take the kids, break my heart forever, and get paid for it, and even send me to jail, that gives her a power that wives just should not have, a loaded gun that the state shoots for her. B2B. I've had too many friends, all of whom I admired, get screwed over by 2A. This is no longer merely theoretical statistical to me. It's real. Note that child support can't even be signed away in a prenup and goes whether you're married or not. It's orthogonal to divorce and legally mandatory. Okay. Ergo, not marriage nor children. Okay. And here we are, blah, blah, blah. What a third.
This in the podcast notes.
This is getting so fucking complicated. What is the question here? If a correct answer to the problem never exists, appears to get my balls back. Blah, blah, blah.
Yo, man, where is it in the podcast notes?
Definitely, and here I am. But beyond that, just an intellectual wall. Beyond her, we have pressure bump on it. Not enough emotional investment. A woman could decapitate a baby's head. Blah, blah, blah. Paul posted some choice evidence drawing randomly from a teller that why marriage is a horrible idea. Quite a true. Blah, blah, blah. Ergo's, okay. So he's wondering, should I get married? I want to have kids and all that. And emotional investment means I can chop off a baby's head. The girl will be okay with that. So you have two sides to this. What he has not realized yet, nowhere near realizing yet, is that he needs to practice attracting a woman first, which is giving her the incentive to meet his expectations, then enforcing his expectations. That will cause deep emotional investment from this woman. Then he'll be able to cut off babies' heads, and they'll be fine. When you are getting your expectations met, when you are exercising authority over a woman, she is deeply attracted. The issues that come up in divorce, or the reason why men and women get divorced in the first place, is because men don't have authority. He's asking questions that have to do with, what about if I don't have authority? What should I do? Or how do you view this? That's why I keep telling this fucking retard to shut the fuck up about this stupid question. First, worry about the basics. Learn to get your expectations met. Learn to express yourself to stimulate other people so they want to talk to you again. When you're attracting somebody, you'll see a totally different reaction than how they previously reacted to you.
Yes.
Okay? Will answer the question of divorce in the sense that if you have authority over a woman, you're most likely not even going to get divorced. It's not even be an issue. Just like it's not an issue with, guys who don't have authority are always asking, if a girl has 20 guy friends, am I allowed to let her hang out with them? Or what's the deal? What's the arrangement? Well, if you're in charge of her, you just say, don't fucking hang out with them. End of story. That's it. It's my way or the highway. But if you don't have authority, it's always, what can I allow? How much can what's the best way to do this? How can I best compromise my expectations? It's always, how can I fuck up and cause the least damage? That's essentially what they're asking. My solution is, how about don't fuck up? How about become competent in managing your expectations? Now, legally speaking, yes, we're living in a feminist state where divorce laws favor women.
Yes.
The answer is to not get married in the first place. Don't risk your assets. If you want to become a father, get in a relationship. You can have children without being married. That's fine. You can even have a wedding ceremony. I say, go ahead, have a ceremony. But don't legally sign away your assets. Don't legally tie yourself down. You can be in the same binds of a relationship-wise, how you view each other. You can make the same commitment to each other without getting legally married just by having that commitment to each other. Because that's really all that marriage is. If anything has taught you anything, it's that marriage is not binding to most people. They don't see it as binding because they make vows. They're just frivolous vows. So if they get divorced, obviously the marriage meant nothing to them. It's just an empty promise. They were just really into the ceremony anyway.
Yeah, the wedding day.
Right, the wedding day ceremony. So go ahead and have a fucking ceremony. Who cares?
I was thinking one exception, unless the chick is like super rich.
Great. If she's super rich, choose the Bogler method and just marry her for her money. You can do that. If she's a billionaire, go ahead and do it.
If you get divorced, you're not gonna get screwed.
If you're marrying Britney Spears, go ahead and marry her.
If you can pull a Kevin Federline, maybe.
The rule of thumb is don't do it. Don't do it. But, like I said, if you do it, not like I said, like I'm going to tell you right now, if you do it,
Britney Spears cares.
if she's not Britney Spears and you're the rich guy making all the money, you better make sure you have authority over her because that will most likely safeguard your marriage from divorce, so you won't have that issue. If you do get married with a prenup. Again, issue of a prenup is only an issue to a guy who has no authority. Oh, do I have permission? It won't be romantic. How should I get her to sign it? These are all questions asked by guys who don't have authority. Not your concern.
Yeah, prenup should be your expectation and you get it met.
Quiz number 6. Oh, wait. Read up on justification because this is a landmine for most guys. I think we covered that, right? Justification is a huge issue for guys.
the very attitude that turns off women.
If guys knew they were justifying, this is why it's so important to fucking read the EM guidelines, because it says pay attention to where you're justifying yourself. This is where you're gonna fuck up. It's usually gonna be in there somewhere. I guarantee you.
And today you wrote something where I've been catching myself justifying, and what you said was, to the point. Tell them what you want instead of telling them why you want something. Like, I do that a lot. Yeah, well, yeah, I would like to do that, because...
Stop the why and tell them the what. This is what I want. Not why I want it. This is what I want.
What I want. Get into the habit.
Give me a cheeseburger. Don't give me the cheeseburger because I'm hungry. Just give me the cheeseburger. If you don't give me the cheeseburger, I'm going to punch you in the face. Give me the cheeseburger. It's not your concern why I want the cheeseburger. It's none of your business. Give me the cheeseburger.
Just saying the what.
The what is the crucial step. Worry about the why after somebody is meeting your expectations, after somebody fears your authority, after somebody shows you respect.
Yes.
Okay. Quiz number 6 in the student lounge.
Where's quiz number 6? I don't see it. We're looking at oh wait. Oh, there it is. Read up on justification. Yeah, land. This is a super landmine. We got that.
Where is it? Oh, there it is.
Quiz number 6 is like the 5th line.
Question, yes. Question number 6. Make an expression post, but it must be the worst expression post possible. I thought this was funny because I think these guys were trying to become offensive, and they don't realize they actually wrote better posts when they were being offensive versus when they were just trying to make cool posts. When you try to make cool posts, you make boring posts. When you try to go past the boundaries and you don't care about your posts, you actually make more interesting posts that I want to read. This is funny. This is why it's humorous to me that who won this? I don't know.
It's like a paradox.
Yes, it's a paradox. I often use Haskell, but Haskell's a functioning programming language, blah, blah, blah. Well, I thought this started off good, Bokes. He's talking about Haskell as a programming language, blah, blah, blah. But then he says, a programming language is functional, is useful because it also compiles, blah, 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 blah. Oh, here we go. 3rd paragraph. Functional languages can be beautiful. That's because they're usually very concise, allowing one to write complex code very verbosely and then procedurally. So he's being somewhat nerdy, but yet he's also bringing me into his experience. Like, if he was a nerd, this is exactly how I'd tell him to do it. I'd say, look, you have to relate that experience to her. How can you relate it to her? Well, you're telling her functional code is beautiful. He's saying it's because of its conciseness, because of this, how it fits into that. So he's showing how it's beautiful to him. He's bringing her into his experience. So this is a good example of that. Even though it's a dry post.
Yeah.
Zyger's, today I ate a really great sandwich. So Zyger has all the elements of failed grammar, which I totally hate. So he's got that part right. So he starts off about eating a sandwich. Then me and my friend went around the block. That's when the dog finally arrived and we had a banquet. Okay, all totally irrelevant stuff. All, not irrelevant, but incomprehensible. No cohesion at all. Just skipping around, right? No sharing of his experience, just relating events. Banquets are nice this summer. But then some guy decided to serve ham as the main course, and everyone looked at him funny because some of the people were Jewish and didn't eat pork, and it was embarrassing. So he sat down and ate it afterwards. So he actually made a funny little thing at the at the end here. It wasn't so funny, but it was just humorous because he was trying so bad that he just gave a little funny glimpse into, I don't know if it was just the details of the story. It wasn't necessarily drawing me into his experience. So I would say this is probably Zyger's the winner here.
Hey, I know one that was even worse, and you deleted it.
Yeah, because you did a second entry, and I only gave you one shot at this because you totally blew the direction the first time.
Okay.
Your post was actually better than most of your posts anyway. Entry number 1 for Wolf. Liar, liar, pencil fire, Democrat wiener is a wiener. Admits lying. Admit, castrate it. See, his is interesting because he's taking chances here. He's like, he's trying to make an offensive post or something, but he's actually taking chances. He's experimenting with the language, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. That's more interesting to me than his dry posts.
You know what? I didn't write this. It was on the internet.
I sure the hell would make me sick. Where is Longoria? What a criminal. See, he's writing his opinions, his raw opinions here. This is more interesting to me. These unfiltered opinions. He's bringing me into his experience. There's no, right, exclamation point. So I know there's some emotion here. He cares about something. So all this is bringing me into his experience, even though if it's, I don't know what his point was here, but, and then the second entry, what the fuck? Fuck that shit, fuck it, well, fuck me, fuck it anyways, fuck those fucking fuckers, fuck! Even though I get what he's doing here, he's just making a kind of a nonsense entry, but it's an exciting entry because he's saying, what the fuck, it's exclamation, it sounds like he's pissed about something. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he's super pissed about something, but he's so frustrated he can't express it, so he just starts typing fuck, at the end of one big fuck. So it's emotional. I don't know what's dealing with, but it seems like the rawness of his experience is coming through. Whereas he just meant it to be a nonsensical post.
Mm-hmm.
So this was more interesting to me.
Well, I don't know what your point is. Like, how is that supposed to help us write better expression posts? Like, be brave.
Because you're supposed to realize that if you just posted most of your entries here, you would have won.
Huh?
If guys had just looked at some of the failed posts, they would have realized if you're trying to do something offensive or trying to do something that, trying to make a bad expression post, you just have to write how you normally write, very carefully. But when you're trying to write something bad, you're not writing very carefully, and suddenly you start becoming more candid. It's much more difficult.
Yeah, I heard somebody else say this to let loose.
Let loose, that's exactly right. When you're typing your posts up, your regular expression posts, you're trying to be so cool that you're almost like a guy speaking in monotone. You don't want to put emotion in your voice because you don't want anybody to judge you and think of you as stupid. So when you're relating something cool, like I went to that game and dude hit a grand slam. It's totally cool. It's cool. It's a cool game. I loved it. Right? Yes. You don't want to put a lot of emotion there because you don't want to let pure stupid in front of your friends. So you don't want to go, you fucking hit the greatest grand slam ever. I almost cried, right? You feel like you're putting yourself on the line. But if you're trying to make a bad expression post in your mind, you think, if I just let loose and go crazy, you'll think it's bad. No, that was actually good. That's what most of you didn't realize. Interesting. Well, so some of you got the hint where you were just relating facts, but other times you mixed up your facts with your real expression. Your real expression came out. You're expressing, like for instance, Boke was expressing how functional language can be beautiful. So you undermined your failed post and made it a good post. Okay, but you get the point here. That was the point of quiz number 6.
And going forward, what is they supposed to do when writing their expression? Keep that in mind. Writing their expression post.
Nothing, Bogler. Forget about it. Next, okay.
No, because they still need to pay attention to grammar.
Why don't you discuss it with other students? Why don't you take that information you just gained, that confusion you just were pummeled with, and start discussing the podcast with other students?
I will be.
I look forward to it. I look forward to hearing about it. Okay, EM exam from the Post. I think we covered that. Yep, I think we've done it all. Woo! Yeah. Record time, almost 2 hours. Woo, woo, woo.
I didn't know we were on for 2 hours.
Boggles. Anything you want to report? Anything on the home front you want to report on?
I was talking to a bunch of Moroccan and Persian chicks yesterday.
Oh, you were? What was this?
A whole bunch of them.
Yes.
And my ability to keep a conversation going, like inability to keep a conversation going on sometime was really, I felt bad. And I came back and wrote a post, an expression post, which I haven't written in a while.
Sweet. I saw this hot Indian chick at a coffee shop, someplace where I was eating lunch by. So I went over there, made some pretense to sit down at a table next to her, and then started talking to her. Then I invited myself over to her table, and she was one of those hot Indian chicks that doesn't have those dark circles under her eyes. You know how most Indian chicks look like Doll Sim?
Yeah.
She didn't look like she was playing Street Fighter. She looked like an
Asian something.
Yeah, almost like an Asian Indian, like a Cherokee Indian Asian something chick. But she had a nice dark tan. I was ready to bend her over. And said, I'm getting married. I'm moving to blah 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 to Dallas in a couple weeks. I'm like, oh fuck, that's great. Good for you. Later, Indian chick. Later.
That's what happened. Well, yeah, me and Paperclip, we were.
Oh, and this other example I'm including in the ebook, McDonald's.
I read that. It was pretty funny. I liked it.
So I hand my change to this chick, and I open my hand. I put it in a fist, and she's got a tiny little hand. She puts it under my hand, and she's taking an order. And I'm thinking, is she retarded? She's not going to catch all this change. So I just open my hand, try to do it slowly, and I see coins just bounce off her hand. And what is she doing? She's just keeping her hand there, even though the coins are bouncing off. She's not even moving her hand or putting 2 hands under it. You'd think she'd use her brain and put 2 hands under it. So half the coins bounce off. She just takes the coins and puts the ones that stayed in there in the register, and she's like, and I give her the $2, and she's like, oh, but I'm really gonna need the 74 cents. I'm like, you fucking bitch. You fucking out of your mind. So I just point to the ground, and it's right there. She's like, yeah, but you handed it to me wrong. Bitch, get the fuck out of my face. So I just basically told her, you're retarded. You need to, I said something along the lines of, it's not my fault. You can't figure out how to catch change or something like that. And then I started getting into a whole scolding thing, and then she realized, oh fuck, I'm fucked. So she's like, okay. Just, so I just drove on.
Just take your burger and leave.
I knew she was frustrated.
Nice.
So, yeah, that was my fun experience.
Okay. And, we were wondering what you were doing yesterday. I want to actually invite you to the Persian and Moroccan party, but next time,
Next time, get me to that Persian Moroccan party.
Yeah, Paperclip got this one Persian girl's number.
Paperclip into his house. Okay, thank you, students, for joining us. Thank you for being a part of
part of the podcast.
Thank you for being such an integral part of this podcast, and we really enjoy having you.
Always helps us make better and better podcasts someday.
We can't wait to visit you again.
If you guys liked it, please leave a word. We would really appreciate your...
Bogler wants to hear how much you loved his co-hosting duties.
Yeah. Tell me where I can improve, or what you like, what you didn't like. We always like to hear from our audience.
Enough. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Okay, welcome back. We forgot to cover something. Let me see here. The bands lifted up. Wait, we might have forgot a few things.
No, you didn't cover it.
EM examples. Anyway, let's cover the bands, the lifted bands, on DKO and Rob.
Yeah.
Student punishments.
I'm surprised to see them in the chat today, both of them.
Yes, both of those bands were lifted. Okay, I know we talked about this before, and part of the problem was students are retards. So, for instance, take DKO. He had like a 10-page paper, I think, or a 5-page. I don't remember how many. It's been so long. He should have been done with this years ago.
Yeah, there's no excuse.
But because he's such a retard, he doesn't have the capacity yet to do that paper. So even if I, said you're never going to be back on the form until you finish that paper and it was 10 years later, he still wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So banning him isn't really going to accomplish anything because he doesn't have the capacity to do it yet. He's not responsible enough to do that paper. If I give that paper to you or high school 101, you could do it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to have
not that responsible, but I managed to pull through it.
Right. It'll take you a long time, but at least you guys are eventually going to pull through and do it. So that isolation is going to motivate you guys, right? You guys want to get back on the forum and talk to your buddies again.
I think that's one of the only reasons how I would be able to do it, even if it was a hard time.
Right. So you're motivated to do it just so you can talk to your friends. Whereas Rob is super stubborn and he won't give a fuck. And DKO, he's just going to give up, throw his hands up, and just do his own thing, right? Maybe play video games. I don't know what he does.
Rob's too stubborn.
Right. So on one hand, I want to make sure that we're going to punish dysfunctional behavior. But on the other hand, I want to make sure that we're not going so far that the students who don't have the training, that's why they're here in the first place, because they're complete fuck-ups. And a lot of times, it's not going to just conventionally work where if I just say, look, you're not invited back to society, in this case, Manhood Academy Society, if you don't shape up. That's the way the world's going to treat them. It's going to say, look, if you fuck up, get out of society. Either go to jail or get out of the community or, don't associate with me. Don't be my friend, right?
Yes.
But these guys are fucked up and they don't know how to interact in the first place. That's why they're here. So, yes, we need punishment, but we need to tailor it to fit these guys. They're
customized punishment.
Customized punishment.
Custom
right.
pain.
Custom pain. So, in a sense, it's difficult because, well, not in a sense, it is difficult because we can't give them like physical pain, which would be great if I could just hijack these guys and keep them in a compound somewhere. I could just beat them physically.
Give them whippings.
Whippings, that would be great.
Lashings, yeah.
Since we can't do that, I thought we'd just keep it very simple. Like, if they're fucking up in the chat room, we just ban them in the chat room for that day, and they can come back the next day. So each time they screw up, at least they're getting some punishment, even though it is, I consider it very light. But that still allows them to participate in the forum and come back and try it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I always want to give them that option to come back tomorrow, even though they're going to fuck up, come back tomorrow. So how to handle more serious violations, like if they're going to, challenge an instructor's authority, I think we'll just do the same thing. Just have like a temporary ban on them. They can come back and try it again. So I think part of the real punishment is their own social life is really their punishment. They're already fucking up and they're already not happy with their social life, and that is the punishment they're receiving. The isolation is already being given to them. So we don't want to heap on top of that because they're coming here to try to solve that problem. And we don't want to become more of a burden than we need to be. Already we're going to be demanding a lot of them relative to what we're demanding a lot relative to what a normal person can bear. A normal person should be able to bear this and then some, but they are not normal people. They are retarded people. So we got to take that into account.
Yeah.
So I don't think in the future we'll be handing out papers. I think in the future we're just going to, like I said, do a day ban or a week ban, whatever we deem fits the offense. If somebody's fucking up in the chat room, just ban them from the chat room for that day or a week as need be. And then for a more serious offense, like, for trying to undermine one of the instructor's authorities, either of the instructor's authority, then we'll do like maybe a week ban or something like that. But nothing so daunting that they can't come back or they can't fight back. Not fight back. I mean, they can't dig themselves out of the hole, so to speak. Because if we really were to let the punishment fit the crime, it would be too much for them to bear already. They're already fuck-ups, and if we just continue to give them the same punishment that society would give them, just isolation, it wouldn't help them because they don't have any direction. They don't have any way to get out of that. Like, I'm not there when I tell them to go write the paper. I'm also not there to go, look, you need to schedule the time to do this. You need to start doing it like this. You don't have their perspective to view it as to break it up in your mind as just a page a day or just, even a sentence a day. You're so daunted by the whole task, looking at the whole paper, that you'll just give up trying. So I'm not there to give you that functional perspective of how to view a hard task or how to view a hard, difficult punishment, how to address it, right? So until they're trained, it's got to be useless to keep giving them papers and things that are just too difficult for them.
A lot of those guys are we're hanging out on Skype and stuff. They're still able to get a little bit of
they're still able to talk to you guys. So it's like it's
the
motivation to finish the papers there, right? So
that's the bad side of socializing outside of work.
On one hand, it's good because we get great papers written from you guys, but you're students who can handle those papers. You in high school 101, you can see where your punishment is producing something great. It's producing diamonds. You guys are putting into that pressure, and you're producing great work. Whereas these guys, they're being crushed. They're being crushed in the coal dust. They're not becoming diamonds. The pressure is too much for them. They're just becoming crushed. So I think it's going to be better for these guys if they get another chance to keep coming back, even if they fuck up, just to keep letting them fuck up and keep learning the slow way. So that's my conclusion.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I want Rob to finish reading the ebook. It's not that.
Yeah, I would like him to finish reading the ebook too, but like I said,
stubborn.
Rob's Rob.
Yeah.
Rob's stubborn and Rob is Rob. Yeah. The best we can do is keep telling him, look, if you're fucking up, I'm just going to tell him when he fucks up, it's because you're not reading the ebook. Yeah. So that's my simple answer to him. Have you read the entire ebook yet? Nope. Well, you don't get help until you start reading that. So we'll let him participate in the forum, make posts and whatnot. But like I said,
they both should sit and read it together, finish it up.
All right, my help is conditional. If you're doing what I ask, then I can do what you ask of me. So if you guys need help and you haven't read the ebook, I'm going to tell you go read the ebook first.
Yeah. It makes sense to read the ebook first. I mean, that's common sense. Well.
You think it'd be common sense for all the students, but obviously most of our students have proven us wrong. Yeah. You included. You especially.
Yeah, I mean, I need to read the ebook again.
Yes. Well, I think I'm finished all the way up to the examples now. I'm just want to make sure I have enough EM examples before I go on to the expression section. So right now I'm just adding examples from real life so people can get a sense of what it actually means to manage your expectations in real life.
Yeah, exactly. And once you finish the expression, I'll hit the books again.
Well, you can hit it right now. The examples are helpful, but you're having real life examples already, so it's already okay for you to hit the EM. Actually, maybe I'll announce it when I finish the section, then you can start. I'm going to announce when I'm starting the expression section. That'll mean I've finished the sections 1 and 2, and then you can go ahead and start reading.
You have pictures on the expression section? I'm just trying to picture it.
Yep. They'll all be pictured up.
Okay, that's fascinating.